Hello, fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat, or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I'm going to be working on my current oldest kit. This was the oldest kit in my stash. This is called Bubble Fairies. This is a Randall Spangler, and I'm going to be using this one for the Stoke Your Dragonfire event. So let me move things around a bit, zoom in to where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me get my timer started here. I've got some drills poured out, and I'll get started. So let me start with my life update. What is going on in my life? Well, hubby and I spent this week getting ready for him to start his new job. He was actually out in the garage going through all of his old equipment that he just kind of thrown in boxes when his old other job ended. And so he's like, yeah, I don't really need all of this stuff. He had 3 sets of climbing gear, and so he went through and picked out what he thought he was going to actually need, which he went ahead and put away a bunch of his winter gear. I don't know if he's still going to need it or not, because our weather here has been so weird. It was 30 some degrees the day before yesterday, and today it's 80 something. I mean, I would say it's crazy, but I just don't remember it fluctuating this badly. We had a day earlier this week where it literally was 80 degrees, and by the evening it was down in the teens. It just seems crazy that there'd be a 70-degree change in one day. I mean, in less than 24 hours. So hubby's gotten all of his stuff packed up and ready to go. He'll be leaving to go stay in the motel for the week, and of course, he has a bunch of paperwork and everything to fill out that first day. So I don't know how much actual work he'll get done that day, but we'll see how things go. I imagine I'm going to be doing a lot of things to try and keep myself busy because he's going to be gone. I mean, my son will still be here, but he spends a lot of time doing homework and playing games, and hanging out with mom is not his top priority, so, which is fine. That's how it should be, but I wish we still had pets. Having a little dog around would be nice, but that's okay. I went back to the eye doctor to recheck my eyes, and it comes and goes. Some days it doesn't bother me at all. Some days, like today, it's driving me crazy. But she said everything looks good, so I'm good to go until I have my yearly appointment later this year. So again, just live with it. It was so funny though. My husband went with me because I knew she was going to dilate my eyes, which she did. And although I had to laugh, the tech asked me if I wanted her to just dilate one of my eyes because they're only really looking at one. And I said, oh, well, I just assumed she would do both. And she said, well, if you're okay with that, that's probably her preference. And I said, yeah, it's fine. And I said, what is that like if you only have one eye dilated? And she said, well, it's interesting. And I said, no, I'm fine if she wants to do both of them. So she dilated both of them. But then hubby and I had talked about I wanted to go out and do some shopping. And we'd stopped at a couple of stores, but I was giving myself a headache trying to read things with my eyes dilated, and everyone kept giving us funny looks because I assume everyone thought I was high on something because my pupils were so big. We did go out to eat, which would have been an experience, but I did manage to get a seat that was not facing the window, so it wasn't terrible, but yeah, so we didn't end up doing all the things, but whatever. What else have we been doing? Hubby and I have been working on some household projects. You know, we're going to be hopefully leaving this summer, putting the house on the market. So I said, why don't we fix up some things that we can just do ourselves, like painting and some other things. So we decided this week that we would paint our bathroom. It's kind of the same color that it was before. It's a tiny bit darker, But because it's so close, we don't really have to go over it with primer. We didn't have to do more than one coat, so it actually worked out pretty good. It took longer than we thought. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how all home improvement projects go, but it did take longer than we thought. But it's done, and it looks really good. I told my husband it's kind of funny, just fresh paint, you know, covering up all the dings, and I mean, we filled in any holes and stuff like that, but just kind of giving it all a refresh just makes it look almost new. While he's gone this week, I'm going to try and finish up some things. We need to redo some of the caulk by the tub, and I want to try and refresh some of the wood in the bathroom as well. And this one went well enough that I think we're going to try and tackle, not anytime soon, but here probably in a couple weeks, tackle my son's bathroom. Actually, I should make him help. He's going to be going on spring break while my husband is at work, so he shouldn't have any homework to do. Although I guess I'm still waiting to find out about that too. He was looking, he's got one of his classes is an 8-week class, so it actually starts next Thursday or Friday, and I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure the university closes, so I don't think he'll have classes, but also it's an online class, so who knows. I don't think he'll have his other classes, but they're also online, so maybe they just ignore spring break. I don't know. But I would have thought if the university was closed, they would be closed as well, because the instructors don't want to be working. In addition to my son's bathroom, I also would like to do our bedroom. But that means we would need to empty the dressers, move some things out of the way so we could reach the walls. So I don't know how long it'll be before we get to that. My husband is not at all enthusiastic about doing it because our bathroom took longer than we thought. However, our bathroom has a lot of weird angles. There's like a little alcove for the sinks, and then there's a little alcove for the tub, and then there's a little alcove for the shower, and there's like a little half wall. So I said this one has a lot more angles and things like that than a lot of the other rooms do. So I don't think they would take as long as the bathroom actually did. So we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to be able to tackle it all myself. My right knee is giving me all kinds of problems lately, so I think I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go back to the doctor and see what is going on. It's not bone related. They did all of those kind of tests, but the same issues that I was having in my left knee, I'm now having in my right knee. So I feel like it's muscle or ligament related, but I don't know. And I'm just kind of frustrated at the things that I can't do. So it's going to have to see what I can find. The fun part is going to be finding a new doctor, because the last time I tried to find a new doctor, they basically want an audition. They want to know your complete history before they'll even tell you if they're going to take you as a patient, which annoys the heck out of me. But we'll see. The place that I was going before, when my doctor left, they had never hired someone else, and I think they finally have done that. So I'm going to call them and see if I can get in. But the other problem with being a new patient is it takes forever. So we'll see what happens. Just living life. Life's been kind of boring. Trying to start prepping for the move. I'm going to try and work on the basement this week as well while my hubby is gone. I've decided I need to just spend an allotted amount of time. I'm going to pick a 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, and I'm going to spend that amount of time, or at least try to, every day working on going through things, because we're going to be out of time here real shortly and never know what's going to happen. Kind of waiting to see. Hubby took this job. One of the other people that's going to be starting the same day he is his old boss, which I told him, you know, that makes me think that this whole, oh, we're going to pick everyone else up is not going to happen, because his boss took a different job instead of just waiting for whatever was supposedly going to happen. So we'll see how it works out. I told my husband I'm kind of at the point now where as soon as my son is done with school, we could just go. Or maybe even sooner, I don't know. But we have things we'd like to do and some things we'd like to finish up before we go, so. But life doesn't always go how you want. If it did, he wouldn't be starting this job where he wasn't at home every night. All right, did I have anything else to tell you? I think the only other thing was I'm still waiting on our refund, our tax refund. We did get one state refund. And of course, I haven't paid our state taxes yet because I'm waiting on our federal refund to do that. So hopefully it will show up sometime this week and I can get that paid. So yeah, like I said, gonna work on the basement, maybe paint some rooms. We'll see how that goes for me. Just working in the basement and getting rid of some of that stuff down there I think will be really helpful. We've already gotten rid of quite a bit of things, but you just never realize how many things you accumulate when you're living someplace. Sort of the same thing I told my husband when we painted the bathroom, that these things that you just kind of put up with because you live someplace. Oh, here's these marks on the wall from the dog, or somebody banged into it or whatever, and then we're going to put the house on the market and suddenly it's like, oh, we need to fix all of these things. I mean, we don't have to, but also we're still going to be here for a little bit, so it's kind of nice to get to live in it as it gets refreshed. I'm debating whether or not I want to get new carpet in our upstairs. It would be our bedroom, the living room, and the stairs. So not a ton of space. It wasn't like we'd be doing the whole house, but I don't know if I want to go to the expense. I do know we have definite wear patterns in our carpet, so it probably wouldn't hurt. I just don't know if I want to deal with it. All right. I think that's everything I wanted to tell you for my diamond painting life. I mean, my regular life. Gosh, you guys, my brain, just trying to get ready for hubby to be gone and everything else. I'm just kind of all over the place. All right. Anyway, that was my regular life. What's going on in my diamond painting life? I guess it's been kind of boring as well. I'm just working on things. I have been working on this kit, not like I should. I have 3 WIPs currently. Well, technically 5, but 2 of those WIPs I don't plan on working on anytime soon. I probably should, but they're both kind of big and they're just not something I want to work on at the moment. They're not holding my interest. So I've been working on this one, and if I get finished with this one, my Universe in a Jar, which is also a Spangler, I'm going to try and use for the Stoke Your Dragonfire event. I haven't looked up what all it is. I don't know if I'm officially going to enter or if I'm just going to diamond paint along while everyone else competes. I told my husband, I just don't know if I can keep up with everything because it seems like, and fair enough, I do the same thing. Every event has a Facebook group that they want you to join or whatever, and I just am no good about keeping up with social media. I have a hard enough time keeping up with it for my own events and trying to do multiple events in a month. I tried that last month and it just did not happen. So I think I'm just going to go back to what works for me, and that is to talk about the events and hopefully bring some awareness for other people's events. Participate in my own way, even if I'm not officially participating. I figure that's cool. All right, is that all the peas? I've got a lot of colors here where I don't have very many drills of that particular color. So let me get one of these greens here where I can get some actual placing done. So I'm working on this one. Once I finish with this one, I will start on the Universe in a Jar. I still have my Josephine Mall Diamond Painting Deutschland that I'm working on. However, I have not really done anything with it since I initially started working on it. And I think since hubby is going to be gone all week, I'm just going to drag it out and leave it on the dining room table so that I will hopefully work on it in the evenings is my plan. then get caught up. I mean, I don't need to have it done until, my plan was April or May, so I'm clearly already behind because it's March and I don't have anywhere near what I should done. But I have some new things that I'm going to be doing, and I'm really contemplating. I did the video where I kitted up the universe in a jar by symbol. I understand why people do it that way. I don't know if I'm gonna be comfortable with that. I guess I'll find out. But I'm really contemplating, rather than by symbol, contemplating organizing the J-wall by color. Because with 275 colors, I think that makes more sense to me than doing it by symbol. Just because in looking at the symbols, trying to come up with categories, there are some letters and there are some numbers, but not as many as you would expect with that many colors. And there's just a lot of kind of random symbols. There's a lot of arrows, there's a lot of triangles, but there's also weird things that, like I said, you know, there's a candlestick and a baby carriage and a television set and a suitcase. And while I probably could spend some time going through and organizing according to whatever categories I came up with, it seems easier to organize by color. That way I can just say, oh, well, this is in the blues, this is in the greens, and I'll get somewhere close. I haven't fully decided yet if that's actually what I'm going to do. It seems like it would make it go faster, but I don't know. I just have too many things I want to do and not enough time to do them all. I think that's my problem. I want to work on my heaven and earth designs. I've got one of them kitted up with my spare drills. I would like to work on that, but it's a really large canvas. Pretty much everything I've been doing this year are kind of larger canvases. I usually have at least some small 30 by 30s and things like that that I typically do in a year, and I haven't done any of those really this year. I guess technically my Daphne kit that I did, Daphne from Scooby-Doo, it was like a 9 by 9, so it was pretty small. So I guess I could count that one as a super small one. But everything else has been pretty big. I mean, I think Wishes, which I just completed, was 40 by 60, and I think that's the smallest one I've done. Harajuku was 60 by 60. Daphne was pretty small, like I said. Wishes was only 40 by 60, but anyway, because I'm working on larger canvases, trying to finish up some of the stuff that I want to get done on my goals list, it's just taking me longer, which is fine. It's fine that it's taking me longer, but I'm used to working faster and having more finishes. So I think it's just a fact that that's what I've been used to when I've had the channel, and that's kind of how I've worked. And now that I'm not doing it that way, it just feels odd. But I guess I might as well get used to change, right? Lots of things are going to change. Lots of things are already changing. Some sad news, you guys. I went out, I think I told you the last WIP and Chat, I went out and bought 2 Craftibly kits, and I got my gnomes that I'd been wanting forever. I actually went out yesterday morning and was looking to see what they had, because there were a couple of kits that I kind of sort of almost got and then decided not to. And I went back and I was like, I really like their kits. After doing the Furry Familiar and remembering how much I like their drills and everything, I was like, well, let me go back and see. And I went back and looked at the kits yesterday morning, and I thought, well, I'm just going to hold off because I'm kind of over budget already, because I bought a bunch of stuff in January and then some things I hadn't planned on in February. So I'm just going to wait and get them later. And then somebody sent me an email with a link to someone's video that Craftibly is closing, you guys. I guess even the sale that they had last year just wasn't enough for them to stay open. I don't know what the circumstances are, but I'm bummed to see them go. And then after I saw that, I was like, oh, well, let me go check out these kits and see if I want to get them. And they're already sold out. So the two that I was thinking of buying additionally are already gone, which is kind of sad, but also okay. I mean, clearly somebody else purchased them or they'd still be available. I was already over budget, didn't need to buy anything anyway, but that does make me more inclined to hang on to the Craftiblies that I do have because I really like their kits. So yeah, bummed that they've closed, but I guess good that I have at least some kits of theirs left so I can still enjoy them for a little bit longer. And maybe someday I'll get brave enough to buy from somebody's de-stash groups. Of course, if they go out of business, probably going to be somebody trying to charge an arm and a leg for them in a de-stash group. I don't mind people trying to make some money on old kits, the ones that are no longer available and stuff like that, but some of the prices I've seen in some of these de-stash groups seem super excessive. I mean, whatever the market will bear, somebody must be buying them or people wouldn't be paying those prices or asking those prices, so. But it won't be me. Okay, so yeah, some sad news. Like I said, kind of disappointed that they're not going to be around anymore, but I understand. People got to do what they got to do. Like I said, I don't know what their circumstances are. Sad to see them go, but glad I got to enjoy them while they were here. I think I have 4 or 5 Craftiblies still. And who knows when I'll get around to some of them. Because I've been focusing on my 5 oldest, which is this one, the Universe in a Jar, and then the Diamond Painting Deutschland. My other 2 of the 5 oldest are also Diamond Art Clubs, so I'll be doing Diamond Art Clubs a lot this year. I don't know if I'm going to get to something from my Want to Do series this month. I did Harajuku for January and I did Wishes for February. I don't think I have anything else on the list that is kind of small. And I'm already doing, I think this one and my other Spangler are roughly 50 by 70, in that range somewhere. I don't think I'm going to have time, if I actually work on all of these and my Josephine wall, that I don't know if I'll have time in March to work on another kit, which kind of sucks, but maybe I can make it up in another month if I can find something that will do double duty or whatever. Who knows? And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with going a little bit slower. It's fine. It just feels weird. And since we're now officially in March, I need to look back at February and see how I did on my goals. I know I did okay on some of them. Let's just start with my diamond painting hours. I think I figured out I needed to do 80 some hours a month, so definitely behind on this one. I did 61 hours in February, which isn't nothing, but isn't the 80 something I need. So 61 hours, and it weirdly worked out to 61 hours evenly, no minutes. That's never happened before, I don't think. So 61 hours in February, and then I add that to my January total of 54 hours and 13 minutes, and that gives me a total so far this year of 115 hours and 13 minutes, which again is not necessarily where I wanted to be. I should be at something like 160. Maybe I'll be really quick one month and get a lot of things done. Not holding my breath that that's going to happen, but maybe. All right, then the second one is finishes. I finished 3 canvases in February. I finished my Furry Familiar, which is one of the ones that I was doing for the 2 events that I was doing in February. So I managed to complete both of those for the events, so I'm happy about that. I finished the Daphne one, which again was a really small one, but it counts. And then I finished the Wishes one. So 3 finishes for the month of February, which I didn't think was bad, even if one of them is a smaller one. So my previous total was only 2 for January, so I'm up to 5. I only need to finish 35 this year, so I should be on track for that, because that would be, well, I think it would be roughly 3 a month, so I'm a little bit behind. Maybe I just need to have a couple of marathon diamond painting sessions where I just sit down and put on either some of my dead people shows or get caught up on some podcasts. I'm actually behind on several shows that I watch. Will Trent is back on the air, so hubby and I have been kind of waiting to get a backlog of episodes from that so we could kind of sit down and binge watch. I don't think we're going to wait for the whole season, but I won't watch those without him, so that'll probably be something we do when he's home on the weekends. I have a couple of actual play Dungeons and Dragons shows that I watch that I'm behind on. Gosh, I think one I have like 4 episodes. One I just have 1 episode, and then a third one I probably have like 10 episodes to get caught up on. And of course, Curse of Oak Island is back on, so we've been watching that. I have a couple of podcasts that I listen to. I found a new one and I've been listening to it, so I've gotten behind on some of my other ones. So I need to get caught up on all of those as well. So yeah, maybe I'll just do some kind of marathon sessions where probably with the J-Wall, because especially with the podcast, that way I can just listen while I'm diamond painting. I mean, most of them I don't have to watch. Will Trent I have to watch. I miss too much of what's going on if I'm not watching it. And I try to watch Oak Island because, gosh, it just seems like it has so many commercials. If I'm not actively watching it, I lose the thread of what's going on. But it's been kind of interesting, so we'll see. I don't know if that's something my husband and I will binge like we do Will Trent. We'll see. So number of finishes. Wow, I don't even know how I got off on that tangent. Okay, I'm at 5 for a number of finishes. My want series is the next goal. I picked out 12 kits I really wanted to work on. Wishes was one of them, so I finished that one, so that counts as my 1 for this month. So I'm currently at 2 because Harajuku was my January kit. Like I said, I don't know if I will get to a kit in March from that series. I would like to. I just don't know if it's realistic because I really want to get this one and Universe in a Jar finished, and I want to put in some decent hours on the Diamond Painting Deutschland. Wow, I finally found some 310. I think this is the first 310 I'm doing in this kit. Everything else has been 3371, I believe, not actual black. Anyway, so I don't know if I'll get to one of my want series because when I went and looked at them, they're all kind of big, and I just don't know with the 2 big kits I'm already planning on if I'll get to anything else. But I'm on schedule for it. All right, then the 4th thing is my budget, which I blew back in January. And then I ended up buying some stuff in February that I hadn't planned on, but it's all good. So I told myself I was going to give myself $150 each month that I needed to spend because I'm trying to bulk up my stash before we move. Something else that makes me really glad I bought those Craftiblies when I did, because I might not have been able to get them otherwise. Anyway, so my budget. I only spent $76.99 in February, and that was buying the 2 Craftibly kits. I did use the points that I had with them to get some money off. It wasn't a huge amount of points, but it's better than nothing. So I got those 2 kits. So if I subtract that from what I spent previously, of my $2,400 budget for the year, I have $1,963.03 left. So if I include January, February, and March, $150 each month, that would put me at $450 at the end of March. I've already for the year spent $436.97. So $13 more I could spend on something and be back on budget for the month. I'm not going to worry about it too hard if I go over, if something comes up that I really want to buy, but that hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. I did not buy any new releases this week from anyone, although I have to say there are some restocks at Dreamer Designs that I'm kind of eyeing. I also was looking at Oraloa, and Oraloa had a couple that I might get as well. So I'll probably be over budget for March, but it's all good. Okay, Then number 5 was my 5 oldest. We've already talked about that. That's this one, my Universe in a Jar, my Diamond Painting Deutschland. Those are the 3 WIPs. I've got 2 other ones that are also Diamond Art Clubs that I will get to. I don't know when. And then my last goal was to increase my stash. I don't know how successful I have been at that because I completed 3 kits, but I only bought 2. So for the month, that puts me at a -1 for my stash. I don't know if I'm keeping it accurately enough, but I try to only do my stash updates once a quarter because it's just so much work to haul everything out and show everybody what's in it and all of that. I usually just do it once a quarter, but that should be coming up next month. So if I do it next month, then you guys will see and I'll be forced to count exactly how many kits I have. Okay. And then this is not an official goal, but random acts of kindness. You guys, with the work situation and everything, I did send some out this month, but not a huge amount. Well, not this month, in February. I sent out 6 in February, so I am at 15 for the year so far. So that is going to be a goal for me as well. I keep saying while hubby's gone, I'm going to do all these things. I don't make it seem like I can't do these things while he's here. I could, but just I know I'll be looking for things to do of an evening, because usually he and I will sit on the couch next to each other while we watch TV, or if I'm playing on my iPad or reading on my iPad, he's watching TV or whatever, but we're just in the same room with each other. And so I just don't get some things done because I would rather spend that time with him, but he's going to be gone. So there is the very little bit of black that I actually, because there's not very much black in this kit at all. I was so excited when I finished the wishes because it gave me a double bingo. I have no idea what that means. I don't even know. I don't think she's doing like any prizes or anything until the end of the year anyway. But it was super fun just to look at it and go, oh, I got a bingo. Oh, I got 2 bingos. So now I'm looking at the board. What kits do I have that will fit this? What kits do I have that will fit that? I think this will cover up a couple of squares on the board, but we'll see. This has been kind of a short whip and chat, but I think I'm going to stop there, you guys. I didn't get a ton done, as you can see, some here on the little leaves. This is the arm of the dragon, and here's the pillow. I'm kind of excited to fill the pillow in and see what it's going to look like. The bubbles have been super fun, just working with all of these. I kind of wish I would have gone and picked some more ABs, but my head has just kind of been everywhere lately. Yeah, I just didn't do it. Also, most of my ABs are in with the J-wall, and there's that part of me that wants to just finish that one, and then I can pick through all of the ABs and decide which ones I want to put where. Yeah, I think that's it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.